Hey everybody, it's clickbait and welcome to another opinion video! Yay. And boy, what an opinion it is! Just look at that clickbaity title. You know I'm gonna get in crap for that thing. Now I want to preface this video by saying that I play a lot of Smash Bros. For Wii U. For a while it was my go-to game for playing with friends, especially in light of past events that made playing games with friends nearly impossible. Mechanically and functionally, this Smash Bros. Game is the best one easy. Smash 64 is just too archaic, only really holding value for nostalgic reasons. Melee is too difficult to master, and it has very little value to casual players, and not to mention the learning curve to get into competitive is just way too much. Like, see, look at this! How are you gonna do that? I don't know. And as for Brawl, okay, another unpopular opinion. I love Brawl. It was the first Smash Bros. Game I ever got actually excited for, so I am biased, but even with that, I understand it is a flawed game. Still love it though, you can fight me on that. But then we get to Smash Bros. For Wii U and 3DS. Let's be honest, most of you forgot it was even on the 3DS. Yeah, I don't blame you. I remember how much hype was built up for this game during its development, and it's easy to see why. I don't want to go into a whole retrospective about why this game was so hyped, but it is due largely in part to the way it was marketed, having slow reveals over time, and each reveal reinstating the hype everyone had for the game. I was no exception. I loved every single thing about this game before its release, and I have to tell you, this game was a total letdown compared to what I wanted it to be and what it should be. And with Smash Bros. Ultimate right around the corner, I think it'd be best to go over exactly what it was about Super Smash Bros. For Wii U that made it feel so empty. Again though, I want to restate, the game is not a bad game, it's just a game that made so many decisions that really just made me upset. Starting off this list, we pick up right where I left off in the history of Smash Bros. For Wii U, the marketing. Don't click away, I know what I'm doing. When it comes to the marketing of this game, I felt divided. Half of me thought it was a very effective way to market the game to generate consistent hype until the release of the game. On the other hand, the other half of me was just mad they were revealing everything about the game. To paraphrase my own words, I don't want to be an expert in a game that hasn't even released yet. It was cool at first looking at all the new reveals like, wow, that's amazing, I can't wait to play this character. And then they revealed more and suddenly the appeal went away from me. One thing that I never got to experience in a Smash game was not knowing who's in the game. I always played Smash 64 after the characters had already been unlocked. And I got Brawl years after it came out, so there were ample videos online detailing characters in the game. But with Smash 4, I held the hope that maybe I would be surprised when the game came out. Maybe there was a new character that I ran into without knowing about it. Maybe. But no, every character was revealed and that dream was murdered! I like being surprised by games, and I never had the luxury of that with Smash Bros. So when I was unable to be surprised, I was pretty upset. On the topic of revealed characters, this is easily my least favorite part of the game, the roster changes. Don't get me wrong, the new characters were all great, well, at least most of them. While not all of them played very well, at least we got representation for many characters who were long overdue for a spot in Smash. Look, it's Pac-Man! I like Pac-Man. But when the final roster was released, and I got the game and unlocked all the characters, you know what happened? Yeah, worst case scenario, most of my favorite characters were gone! Wolf, Lucas, Ice Climbers, Snake, freaking Snake! I know you can make the case for the Ice Climbers. Having 8 models on a 3DS screen fighting at once wouldn't run very well with the 3DS hardware, but the other characters, yeah, no, I'm still mad. The choices of characters they removed were just dumb. Especially Lucas. Lucas was my main in Brawl. He was the most fun character that fit my playstyle perfectly, and then, poof, he's gone. I wouldn't even have been as angry as I am now if it had ended there. Okay, my favorite character is gone. Fine, I get it. Sacrifices have to be made. But then they did the worst thing imaginable. They brought him back, but then made him paid DLC. Are you serious? You mean I have to pay actual money, like actually give you extra money to play as my favorite character when he could have easily been in the base game in the first place? Yeah, no, this was insulting to me. I'm still mad about it. When you lock my favorite features of the prequel behind a paywall, then damn right I'm gonna be mad. God, I still get worked up over this. And to continue on with that topic, how about the rest of the DLC? Hey you. Yeah, you, the one watching this. Do you like video games? Do you like winning at video games? You do? But you're not good at video games? Oh dear, that's no good at all. But don't worry, I have a solution. It's pay to win! All you have to do is pay money and all your trouble goes away. It just skips the game entirely and goes right to the end screen where your victory is flaunted in the face of the enemy. Yeah, Smash Bros is not safe from the pay-to-win problem. You know what I'm talking about. I mean, look at this bloody tier list. The top 2 characters are DLC. And it's not even like, oh, these characters are slightly better than everyone else. No! If you're playing online and you see a Cloud or a Bayonetta, you better hope that you brought your A game because you're not winning this match without it. For myself, I'm not very good at this game, so when I play this game, I don't even want to play online because I know that a Bayonetta sits right around the corner. And you might think, well, if you think she's that bad, why don't you play a couple matches with her and get a few wins yourself? Look at my roster. See anything missing? Yeah, I stopped buying DLC after Lucas. I'm not paying more money for this game that I don't even enjoy playing unless it's with friends. So take that, Bayonetta. And to continue with the topic of only enjoying this game with friends, I'm just really on it today with my segues, aren't I? How about this game's single player, huh? It sucks. I could leave it at that, but I won't. Let's go back to Brawl. I played so many hours of the Subspace Emissary. I absolutely loved it as a kid, and going back to it, even when you accept its flaws as a good story mode, it was fun. And I still enjoy going back and playing through it. It had wonderful cutscenes, it had interesting puzzles, and the stages apart from that were pretty okay. Although it loses a lot of points in the theming department, it was still fun. Smash Bros. 4? None of that. No story, no adventure. Hell, they didn't even have anything akin to Melee's adventure mode. What do we get instead? A classic mode that isn't classic mode and is more just a bunch of random battles that have no reason to exist. A mode that nobody uses. Seriously, when was the last time you played this? A target smash that is somehow worse than the target smash in Brawl, which removed the main appeal of target smash already, and an event mode that just sucks when compared to its predecessors. Seriously? How can you give me this and even dare to call it classic mode? If you came to me when Brawl was the latest Smash Bros and told me that this was the next game's classic mode, I would call you a liar. This isn't classic. Nothing about this is even remotely classic. You know what classic means? Classic means it's like it was before. This is not like it was before. Don't even show that to me! Okay, moving on. Remember how I was talking about locking features behind a paywall before? Yeah, it didn't stop there. Although instead the paywall isn't DLC, it's a new game entirely. This game has a massive case of version exclusivity, and it sucks! The 3DS version was released before the Wii U version, and I never got the 3DS version, so whenever a feature like a stage was revealed in the 3DS version, I had to hold out hope that it would make it to the Wii U version as well. It never did! You know what stages are exclusive to the 3DS version? It has Magican, Pac-Maze, Paper Mario, Reset Bomb Fortress. All of these stages were stages that I wanted so badly to make the jump to the Wii U version. What did we get in the Wii U version? We got the Great Cave Offensive. You know, the one that's too big to play in? Wrecking Crew. Does anyone even remember this one? And how about Pac-Land? Freaking Pac-Land! Look, I get it. I could just pick the worst stages out of one and complain that we got those instead of the ones I wanted. But to cut it short, the stages exclusive to the 3DS version are just more creative and interesting to me than the Wii U ones. Not to mention, look at the classic mode on the 3DS. It's not great, but at least I'd call it something akin to a classic mode. And what about Smash Run? Basically that one game mode in Kirby's Air Ride, but in Smash Bros. That's really clever. Way better than... Moving on. I know I've gone on about the characters before, but look at this. Does this need to be a character? If you ask me, the clone characters in Smash 4 were horrendous. There's too many of them, and there's no reason to play them over their main character counterpart. I'm so glad they addressed this in Smash Ultimate in a way that's fairly satisfying, because at least the game accepts them for what they are. Different versions of the same character. But this... The clones offer about as much variety as an alternate costume with some customs thrown in, and they might as well have been. Hell, why not make Alf his own character? He's got about as much difference to Olimar as Dark Pit has from Pit or Lucina has from Marth. At least with Brawl, every character feels like their own character. The developers of that game went out of their way to make no two characters play the same. But with this, it's just dumb. I don't care if it's easier to program. It'd be even easier not to program them, and it would have the exact same impact. Although I have many other problems with this game, I don't really have any more that I can talk at length about, so I'm going to talk about my small nitpicks after I make my final point. My final point is the fact that this game just doesn't have any identity. It is by far the least interesting one of the entire series. And by that I mean, when you look at it for what it is, what does it offer that it will keep it going after Smash Ultimate is out? Smash 64 was the original, a classic, and although it doesn't hold up in my opinion, at least it has the nostalgia value for many, including myself. Melee was a huge step up from 64, especially in the competitive side of things. This game will likely never die until there isn't a working copy of it left, and even then, there's emulators. And outside of the competitive side, it's still fun to come back to every now and then. Brawl had its story mode. The multiplayer wasn't great, but it more than made up for it with a fun and interesting single player. Sure, it's not fantastic and is certainly bland when it comes to the ideas, but it's still fun, and a good way to unlock characters if you delete your save data. Smash 4? Yeah, it does nothing that Ultimate won't do better. The characters are going to be more balanced, there's going to be larger stage selection, the mechanics will change multiplayer in a more interesting way, the visuals are better, and the single player is leading up to be better. I don't want this to become a Smash Ultimate speculation video, so I'll cut it at Smash 4 is the only Smash game that is completely outdated. Not just a little outdated, but completely outdated by its successor. Now for all these small nitpicks that I couldn't talk at length about. Trophy Rush was good, but got boring after a bit, plus Palutena breaks it. Custom moves are cool, but you have to unlock them and it's not worth it, and also many of them are not properly balanced, leading to the game being more unfair. Items are overpowered. There are several items that I found that kill you and you can't escape from them. The balancing sucks in general. There are characters who are clearly better than others, especially with the DLC. And after so many patches, you'd think they would come up with a way to make the game at least feel a bit more balanced. The boss of quote classic unquote mode is interesting, but again, unfair. You have to know the timing of all of its attacks perfectly, or you're losing a few difficulty points, and before you know it, he's easy as hell and your reward sucks. Sure, the masterpieces are still there, and they work better, but I still prefer Brawl. It had a better selection of games to showcase the origin of the characters. Beyond the DLC characters, the massive amount of DLC this game had just didn't matter. When will you ever use the Mii fighters? Never. But you can buy costumes for them that you'll, again, never use. Characters that used to transform don't transform anymore, and it makes me upset. I know that it most likely was because the 3DS couldn't handle it, but Pokemon Trainer was such a good character, and replacing him with Charizard alone was just awful. Plus, it completely removed the possibility for my idea of a new and improved Young Link, which would use Mass to transform between Deku Link, Goron Link, and Zora Link, and, of course, all the way back to Young Link, which would have been so good! I'm sad they didn't do that in Ultimate. I'm sad about that. And finally, Smash Bros. Legacy XP is just better. Smash Bros. Legacy XP is a game that runs with Project M 3.6 as a base, and it's just better. I mean, it has new characters that are awesome, it has new stages that are all creative and interesting, each stage has different versions to play on, and it's very fast-paced, because it was meant to play as close to Melee as possible. And of course, it has no clones! Even with Lucina as a custom character, she is still different from Marth in this version. This is what I wanted Smash 4 to be, or at least an evolved version of this. But instead we got, well, Smash 4. God, I hope Ultimate delivers. So anyway, those are my reasons why Smash 4 was just a disappointment in general. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, rate, comment, and subscribe, and if you didn't, then don't. I'll see you guys in the next video. This is not like it was before! Don't even show that to me! I think that's the one. I think that first take is what it's peaked. I peaked, ladies and gentlemen.